Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Path of Exile 2 video here. Today we're going to be taking a look at some crafting and some trading strategies just to get you some currency when you hit the end game. It could also be used while you're playing through, but typically most people aren't going to trade for leveling gear aside from just what drops and then, you know, throwing it up and selling it for maybe one exalt. I would advise not really spending your currency when you're playing through the game unless you're wanting to play like solo, self-found, or it's at the start of a new league. So this is going to be more for once the league has been going for a couple weeks and people are to the end game and the gear is starting to become available to trade or, you know, to craft for end game characters. So let me show you some of the strategies and mechanics that I've kind of found to, you know, get the most bang for your buck. First off, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, really appreciate it. Helps me out. We hit 1,300 subs recently, so with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and take a look here. So first off, I'll just show you some of the gear that I've crafted during my playthrough, just to give you kind of an idea of how long it will last you, and you know, whether you can decide whether or not it's worth that investment for you. So these two items I was able to purchase in Act 3 normal off one of those like troubled camps that you find in the campaign. I think one of them I bought off there, and then one of the other ones I think I got off there, or you know, I think I got both from there, but they were both from Act 3 normal. One of them was definitely from one of those shops. So I beat normal with these weapons before upgrading them. I wish I would have, like in the future, unless they change things, I think I would go ahead and just fully upgrade weapons like this right away, and then you would really just blast through the content. So what I did was I went ahead and fully upgraded them to 20% quality, added 2 sockets, and slapped in 2 martial runes, and those are the ones that give you another 20%, or wait, what's it called? Or sorry, iron rune. So those are the ones that give you another 20% each, so that significantly increased the damage of both weapons. I am currently level 71 and going through like tier 2 maps, and have not really had any issue with my damage. So you can only imagine what it's going to look like once I equip some higher damage weapons, which, if you take a look at this one here, is something that I was able to personally craft the other day from just like a one mod item, one mod hammer. And you can see just those 3 mods, like this weapon is already very, very good. There is an expert version of it, and ultimately that's going to be my goal, to get that equipped. Find a high damage expert version of the leaden great hammer. The only thing is, if you've been following the build, and you can kind of tell looking at it, I'm using giant's blood, so you have to take the strength requirement and then triple it. And the expert hammer is around like 200, just under 200 base strength. So I still have a little bit ways to go. I'm sure I'm going to be able to hit it. So I'm currently at about 400 strength, and you know, I'm going to take this path here, get these increased strength nodes, get this, that'll give me some additional strength, not from the passive nodes, but from like nodes like this and like this. It will give me additional strength, and I think it'll also give me some from these two. But then I'm taking these, so that'll give me like just 18%. It'll be 12, but then once I get hulking form, it'll be 18%. Reduced attribute requirements. So anyways, back to the main point of the video with the crafting. So my strategy has been, as you're playing the game, if you're targeting a certain item, or if there is an item type that, you know, just for whatever's happening in the current meta of the game, like, you know, certain builds a lot of times will be favored. Those are the items you want to target. So whether you set that in your loot filter or you just look for them on the ground, pick those up, especially if they're magic, and go ahead and identify them, and then check the mod. So there's some mods that are very valuable. The other way to do it, and this is how I crafted that hammer, is search through the like this right here. Actually, I'm 100% gonna buy that and then sell it. That'll probably, like, those meta mods, those plus to all skills, that's really I think, at least in the current game, like one of the most valuable mods.
Yes.
And what you'll want to do is check these shops, and then hold Alt, and you can see what tier of mods they are, and that'll kind of tell you like their rarity. But always check the shops every time you level up, because that's when they reset. And just kind of take a look at what's there. So the main things you're looking for is like expert versions of weapons, or like high mods. Like, that's okay. That almost might be worth grabbing, and then going to the next step with the item, which it's not that expensive, so we'll just go ahead and do that for, experimentation purposes here while we're making this video. So we're just looking at the items with the mods. I've noticed the shop in your hideout is different from the in-game shop at the, spoiler alert, the final, area you go to after beating the campaign. So we're gonna go there now and check that shop too. So that's gonna be in Act 3, and I don't know why the map always takes so long to load. It's gonna be down here, the Ziggurat Refuge. So the shop in here, even though it's the same NPCs, they have different items available. And it seems like the shop here has expert versions of items, where I've yet to see an expert version in my hideout shop. And I don't know if that's based off like levels or what, but anyways, so you want to come here and check this shop as well, and just see what it is that they've got. Really looking for those like meta mods with the plus to all skills, or maybe like a really decent damage roll, or like an expert base version of armor. And we'll see if we find anything that's decent. So here's an expert version. That's only a tier 4 mod, so I probably wouldn't spend any currency on that. And that's just like a tier 1. But what you're kind of looking for is like a high tier mod, like I said. Like that's a tier 10. Like, that's not bad. If you were like looking to build a mana character, you might consider grabbing that. It is only an advanced version. Or the other thing I would look for is like movement speed on boots, like 25% plus is probably worth grabbing. And even just selling it as like a magic version is probably worth it. So currently the trade site's down, so I can't really value this item, but it's definitely gonna sell for at least an Exalt. I'm sure it's gonna be more than that. Like, it's probably gonna be, I don't know, 4 or 5 Exalts, maybe more, because these plus all skill mods with like these other good mods, like that's 5 really good mods. And even though this is a tier 1 mod, it's still a very useful mod. And it looks like this can get one more prefix on it, so potentially with this being like a mixed mod, it could get another high like spell damage modifier, and then be a very, very strong item. So I think we didn't check Etsuli yet, so we'll just take a look through, see what he's got. But yeah, so you definitely want to be checking the shops for the magic items. Sometimes you get lucky and find like a really good rare item. And now we'll go to the next phase of the crafting back in our hideout. So after if you find an item like this, you can just straight up use it or sell it, price it on the trade site, or if you're not wanting to spend time, just like slap it down for more than you think it's worth. And then if you don't get any PMs on the item, just like reduce the price a little bit, maybe after a couple hours. If you put an item up for trade and you immediately get like multiple private messages like that people want to buy it, you're going to want to go in and then definitely like value that item based off of the trade site, because you may have it significantly underpriced. So just that's my advice. If you ever get a whole bunch of PMs like right after you post an item, you need to go check the value of that item before you sell it, or you may sell it for like a fraction of what it's actually worth. So when you find a decent base like this, with a decent mod, so when I found this one, it was just on the shop with a +6 to all melee skills, and then I augmented it and got the, I think, 20 to 32 physical damage. Then I regaled it and got like a decent roll of the increased physical damage. So now my options are, if I really wanted to, and like I already think this would sell for like a couple dozen exalts. I haven't had a chance to value it though, because it's the trade site's down and I'm also planning on using it. So I could exalt slam it 3 more times. I don't think there's any other like really method to crafting once you've got it to this point where it's got 3 mods. Like I don't think any of the where is my tab for, yeah, so like I don't think any of these, like there's greater essences, and I don't think that they do anything for like already rare items. But let me double check real quick just so I can make sure I give you the correct information. So yeah, so they just upgrade. So the regular essence upgrades a normal item to a magic item with 1 mod, and then the greater essence upgrades a rare item to, or sorry, a magic item to a rare item with 1 mod. So you can really only get, like, that gives you some control over like the first 3 mods, but as far as I know, once you get the first 3 mods, and this has two like mid-tier prefixes, and then a pretty, I think the highest, at least that I've seen so far, is like a +7 all melee skills. It potentially, maybe it does go higher than that, but searching on the trade site the other day, all I could find was like a +7. So at this point, you could exalt slam it if you want to, or not, but we're gonna go ahead and do what I would do with this item. So it got another decent mod, and like strength is decent. We can go ahead and we can regal that, and fire damage, okay, that's not terrible. So all in all, that's a decent item. Like I could possibly sell that for an exalt. But yeah, so a pretty low investment. Like if you buy it off the shop, you can augment it. If it gets a second good mod, you can go ahead and regal it, and if it's got a third good mod, I would probably stop there and try and sell it, because I don't think putting 3 exalts, unless it's like this where it's got like 3 really good synergistic powerful mods, I probably wouldn't exalt slam this. But I do think it might be worth putting up to trade, either for an exalt or maybe like a regal. Like you could definitely sell this for something. This item we're definitely going to sell for multiple exalts, and then this item I think is definitely worth multiple exalts as well. So we're going to go ahead and just exalt slam this for the hell of it, and see what we get. I don't want accuracy rating, but I didn't want crit damage bonus either. So unfortunately I didn't really get the mods I want. The mana per enemy killed is like the most useful mod that I got there. Currently the accuracy and the crit will work for my build, but with my plans of respecking in the near future, it doesn't really help me a whole lot. But I will be using this for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and socket it twice and throw in the iron runes. And, you know, now that damage is getting pretty juicy, and we're going to go ahead and get it up to 20%. Oh man, it takes a lot more. I guess maybe when they're advanced it takes more. Or maybe it's like a percentage chance. Because sometimes I'm getting like 2 quality here, other times I'm just getting 1. So, whetstones you don't seem to come across a whole lot. Like I've only fully upgraded quality on 3 items here, and I've, you know, played through and you know, salvaged every item that I possibly could. So we're gonna go ahead and equip this in place of that hammer, and that's gonna just be a massive damage boost for me, which is you know, pretty awesome. And that's gonna go ahead and be the video, guys. If you've been following the build, up next, I'll probably post an update after I respec and get everything set up here. I do have some other some new gear to swap out. I just haven't, but I figured I'd go ahead and swap out the weapon for the time being. I'm trying to get to 75, and I have the 3rd ascendancy coin, but I want to get a little over leveled for it, because, or have a 2nd coin at least, so if I fail I can reattempt. But yeah, that's going to be the video, guys. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. We'll post a build update here again after I make some of these changes and really have it kind of running how I would like to. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and remember to give them the D.